All right, so obviously I'm not on the podcast today, but I got a lot of things going on today, and I couldn't make the thing, but I thought I'd send in this rant. I just left work. I had to leave work early because I have some things that I got to take care of today, so got a packed schedule. But I just wanted to talk about donuts.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it. Wow!
Oh, welcome back to the Blues Brothers Minute. This is that show where we watch the Blues Brothers and then discuss it 2 minutes at a time. My name is Tom Taylor, and I am here with my good friend Mike DeMaria.
All right, so obviously I'm not on the podcast today.
Oh, God, that's right. Okay, well, over here is Dan Lewis.
Right. Hey, I got a donut here in honor of the occasion.
See?
I'm eating it right now. Mike would hate this, huh?
It's ironic that he inspired you to have a donut, and if he had been here, he'd be pulling his hair out right now because of your donut.
It is Saturday morning.
It is. This isn't unusual. We're recording at a weird time. Not that this is interesting at all, but we were going to record at this weird time because of Mike, but now Mike couldn't even make this time, and
it's because of Mike, and he can't make it. You have no idea, as listeners, what we go through.
You don't want to know because it's boring. It's boring to us, and we live here.
I'm even bored just talking about it.
Yeah, but look, we got. You know what? I should also back up and say, listen, I was out of town last week, as Dan knows, because I visited Dan in San Francisco. That was good, clean fun. And so, it's not part of the scheduling kerfuffle is that I wasn't around last week. So, I'm not going to put it all on Mike, but I'll put most of it on Mike. He's trying to be a good dad, and I think that's laughable. So, forget it.
He's trying in futility. Yeah. No, that's just a joke. Mike is an excellent dad.
That is a joke. Don't let him hear that. He's going to
Don't let him cut that bit out. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, I had a great time in San Francisco, and my only regrets were that we stupidly forgot to take a picture together, because that's the sort of thing you're supposed to do, so you can share it with your friends on Facebook and stuff. And the fans eat that stuff up. They love to know when we're in the same place at the same time. They go bananas. Mm-hmm. They throw stuff, and it's great. And I also sort of wish that we had hung out a little more. We only had one really nice dinner together. You, me, and my wife and my son.
We had dinner. You were here for how long? And we had one dinner?
I was there for about 5 days. Yeah. My friend Pete, my other co-host from that other show, we hung out for hours and days, and it was just fantastic. We got to know each other. We shared, we laughed, we loved, we lost. And, but I had one nice dinner with Mike. Or I mean, not Mike, Dan. Which one are you? Dan. But it was good times.
All right, I'm almost done with my donut.
Oh, yeah? What kind of donut is it, by the way?
It's your classic glazed donut, a raised donut.
I really like a glazed donut.
It's the best donut. It's just the best one.
It's the only, like, all the other variations of donuts tend to be the same kind of base, kind of cakey donut with other things done to them. But a glazed donut is its own thing, and it's always its own thing. Yeah,
I like that one. There's a similar donut. It's the same raised donut style, but covered in sugar. That one's pretty good.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I want a donut. Somebody get me a donut.
Oh, I always have donuts on Saturdays.
Oh, do you really? Do you go out and get them, or what do you do?
I go out and get them from Dream Fluff Donuts here in Berkeley.
Oh, my gosh.
Sounds
delicious.
I do it because my sketch group meets on Saturdays, and I provide donuts. So I always have a donut. Very nice. And I do the thing, as you'll hear from Mike, I cut the donuts into quarters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I do that very thing, and I eat like 7 quarters. Every time.
Yeah, which is about 2.5 donuts. We should, it sounded like Mike had more to say about donuts, so maybe we should let him go and finish his thought. Since he can't be here with us now, we could at least try to enjoy his thoughts and ideas.
Sure. Let's hear that.
Let's throw it to Mike in the field.
Let's throw it to Mike to play us out.
to play us in.
There's no words on it.
Take it away, Mike.
Take it away.
Donuts. So I was walking out on the way out, and I remembered I had to talk to HR about something, about in our pay system. I had to clear something up for one of the employees. And I'm walking in. I walk in right through the door, and I notice right there as I'm walking past that there's a box of Stan's Donuts right there in like this almost like a Tiffany blue colored box. It's very like, you see it and you're like, oh, that's Stan's. For those of you who don't know Stan's like a really gourmet or artisan or, artisan or artisanal. It's almost like if you were a coffee freak, it'd be Stan's is like the pour over of donuts. Very dense, cake-like donuts. And I said, yeah, okay, I'm not leaving here without some of that. But you have to be careful when you walk into other departments where they have food out. You can't just be that guy that goes in there and just scoops shit up and eats it. I'm just just lays waste to other people's food. So I walk in there, and I go and I said, okay, I'm going to work it, so I get a piece of that. So I go and I see who I need to see, and as we clear up our business, I said, end with a joke. So I ended with something, made them laugh. And I look over, I'm like, oh yeah, look at that, Stan's Donuts. That's good stuff. What do you guys? And before I even asked, what are you guys celebrating? What's their purpose? Is it because it's Friday? And they're like, go ahead and take one. And I said, okay. And I started walking over there, and I saw the different donuts there, and I saw one that I really want, a glazed, like a cakey, heavy glazed donut. And there's a knife there, and I said, and somebody behind me said, take the whole thing. Don't take a half. Don't take a half. I said, come on, I'm not going to take the whole thing. You can't walk up to there and just take the whole thing. I go, I'm going to take a quarter. I'm like, don't take a quarter. And I'm like, I'm going to take a quarter. So I took a quarter. And then as I'm eating it, and I'm eating it really fast, of course, I start the conversation with them and say, you know how it is in the office. I go, you take a quarter, but you know damn well that you're going to take a second quarter, which then becomes a half, right? And they're laughing. I said, I know, that's why you just take the whole thing right away. I said, I can't take the whole thing right away. God damn it! Quarter, and I took the quarter. I threw it down real quick, and then immediately you start cutting the second quarter. And I said, see, I told you, now I'm on the second quarter. And the stress inside me starts building up because it's like, okay, Michael, you shouldn't be eating this. You already had a half. You already had a quarter. Now you're eating more. You haven't really eaten anything substantial yet today. You haven't eaten anything good, no fruits or vegetables yet. Here you are. You're into the second quarter of this donut now, right? But you're still feeling okay because you're saying to yourself, okay, if I finish this, I'm having a half donut. That's not so bad. And they're laughing because they know I'm not going to stop. And I eat that one real fast. And I start turning around and I ask them a couple other questions about their weekend. They started walking towards the door. And in the back of my head, I said, come on, you can have another quarter. Go into the third quarter. You're still not a full donut. You're going to be okay. You can walk out of here without putting down a whole donut. That's what I said. I go, well, we all know you eat more, you eat a donut, and you end up eating like a donut and a half if you go through this quarter style. And so I knew it was coming. So I ate the third quarter, and then you get to that point of just, your brain just says, you know what, fuck it. Fuck it, eat the whole goddamn donut. That's what you walked in here for. You didn't need to talk to them about anything. You didn't need to talk to them about this payroll shit. You just wanted that donut, you selfish prick. You selfish punk. You didn't want to spend your own money and go get Stan's Donuts. You're taking somebody else's Stan's Donuts. You might as well take the whole goddamn thing. A jelly donut. A goddamn jelly donut. Even though it wasn't a jelly donut. So you take the whole thing and now you really start to get upset with yourself. And you're holding that fourth quarter and you say goodbye to everybody and you start walking out. You walk out through the double doors, and now you're in the parking lot, and you start eating the fourth donut, the fourth quarter of the donut. You start eating it really slow, the way you should have from the beginning, savoring it, that dense, cakey donut. Your teeth are like biting into this dense, like, mattress of a donut. And you're like, this is how I should have been doing it the whole time. I have 3/4 of a donut already inside my stomach, and I didn't relish or enjoy any of it. My anxiousness just would not allow it. And now I feel like garbage, That's how it goes. So now, it realizes you. If you just walked up and said, you know what? I'm going to sit and I'm going to enjoy a whole donut. I'm going to take it. I'm going to go get myself a nice cup of coffee. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to enjoy this donut. I'm going to eat it slowly. Maybe read the news for a minute and enjoy it. But no, I have to ruin it by quartering myself. Well, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and then fourth quarter. Boom. you know, and you're stressed out, you don't feel good about yourself, you just ate a whole donut, but you didn't enjoy it. If you just went in with the mindset to say, I'm going to enjoy this, I'm going to allow myself to enjoy this, I'm going to relish it, life is good. We created donuts, right? You go to the front of the Pharaoh and say, Pharaoh, take it easy now. I know you're laying waste to a lot of people in your surrounding lands, but look at this. This is a Stan's donut, right? This is a Stan's cakey donut. Thousands of years we're going to have these everywhere. Every corner you'll be able to go and find this. So take it easy. Take it easy. Life is good. Try this donut. It's fucking good. It's a glazed goddamn donut. You don't even know what that means. But try it. Put down the fucking swords. Put down all the fucking arrows and the flaming arrows and the death from above. And just enjoy the goddamn donut. Life is good. If I would just went in with that mind frame and 95% of the things in my life, God, it only matters what things could have been. So, there. All that from a fucking donut in HR. So, sorry I wasn't on the show, but I wanted to send something. There's my rant. And Dan and Tom and Dan will bore you to death for the next, 30 to 40 minutes. And maybe there'll be some shtick. Maybe there'll be some really lame trivia. Maybe there'll be something good. Who knows? Maybe the show's better without me. You know what? Good. I hope it is. I hope it's better without me so that you guys can go on with your technical aspects of the show. No, I don't mean that. We're a team. It's not the same with all three of us, but I know they'll carry it. I know they'll carry this show, and maybe everybody have a donut. But you know what? If you're going to have a donut this weekend, please just enjoy it. Just enjoy the thing. Whatever it is, whatever your donut is right now, whatever it is that your donut is, that one thing that you just can't allow yourself to enjoy, just take a step back and say, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this donut. It's not going to kill me. It's going to actually make me feel good. It's going to bring my stress down. I'm going to enjoy the little things in life. All right? All right, everybody. Hang in there. I don't know why I'm saying that, but talk to you later. Goodbye.
Well,
Yeah.
So there you have it.
That's it.
For want of a donut, Mike couldn't be here.
That's the bottled up rage that you've all come to expect of being unbottled.
Yeah. Yeah. On the one hand, I fully understand what he's saying.
Yes.
And he's speaking truth to all of us out there.
Right.
Enjoy life. Don't kid yourself into thinking you're trying to be something you're not by having a quarter of a donut. Just enjoy the donut. Just be who you are and enjoy that.
There's a very good lesson in there.
With your mouth. There is. On the other hand, I'm also taking from this that he's not here because he ate a donut, which I don't fully understand. I mean, you're eating a donut right now, and you're here.
It's the kind of thing, it's like from Animal House, you just go, you say Pearl Harbor, and you go, he's on a roll, let him go.
Yeah.
You don't question that part. But it's true. Just have the donut. Own having the donut. And
be the donut.
Be the donut. Make the donuts.
Make.
Get up early. Make the donuts.
That's what they were trying to say with those commercials.
He's definitely
It's time to be the donuts. It's time to make the donuts.
That's not truth to power, is it? That's not what he was doing. That's not what when they mean truth to power. That's not what that is, right? It's just truth.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's truth to, the unwashed masses.
Sure.
Is that what it is? Is there such a phrase?
Yeah.
Okay. I include myself in that too. I'm not trying to be a snob. I'm an unwashed mass.
Oh, yeah. Even at my most washed, I'm an unwashed mass myself. I'm a crapulent mess.
Get a load of that mass. Should we talk about the Blues Brothers at all?
Crapulent. Yeah, let's talk about the movie.
We'll get back to Vocabulary Corner in just a minute, but first let's talk about minutes 119 and 120 of The Blues Brothers, which feature Jake and Elwood being held at gunpoint by Carrie Fisher, and he pleads his case on his hands, on his knees, falls to his knees, pleads his case, and it seems like he wins her over. She gives him a very lovely smile and says, "Oh, Jake."
Yeah.
That's what happens in these 2 minutes.
Yep, and I watched it with the sound off myself.
All right, fair enough.
She's
not much dialogue.
She's lovely. I mean, honestly, Mike doesn't get into this, but she's incredible. She's as beautiful as you would expect from the child of Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher.
That's right.
And she had as many of the drug problems that you would expect. from the
that's
child
true.
of Eddie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds.
It's really sad.
Huh?
It's weird. I should try to track this. Like, as a Star Wars fan, I sort of had her on my radar all through like the 70s and 80s and 90s and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you sort of knew that she was having issues and that she was in like rehabs and things like that.
Yeah.
But it seems like until like her last decade or something, she kind of held it together. Like she was doing a good, like she's in When Harry Met Sally, and like she'd had issues up until then and stuff, but she looked like lovely and fine and good. And I'm not, trying to make a thing about just like how she looks and stuff, but it does seem like, I don't know, something else might have happened later on or something. And
well,
kind
I
of took a
actually
toll or
forgot how she died again. It wasn't that long ago, but how did she die again? Was it?
She was on an airplane, and they said it for, I think technically it was like the cause of death was a heart attack, but I think that they have since said that it was brought on by, medications that she was on and stuff. And I don't know if I'm putting quotes around medications.
Right.
I think it might have been, a Heath Ledger kind of thing, like just too many.
Is it the fentanyl kind of situation or whatever
I don't
that
know.
is?
I really don't know.
I am asking that genuinely. Yeah, I don't know.
I should look it up. We shouldn't be talking about it since we have no idea what we're talking about. But
just wild speculation.
Yeah, she was fighting a bear on an airplane.
She's alive and well and living in living in Oxnard, California right now.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Carrie Fisher.
Shout out to you. There's a shot of her that's sort of like these. It's become a calendar type look. Now, granted, she's in a sweater, but there's a shot of her from a low angle. It's really weird.
Oh, and she's got the kind of gun on her hip, sort of.
The gun. She's standing akimbo.
Yeah.
With the gun on her hip, like sort of displaying it, and also looking like real sexy, like.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you pull it from the calendar, maybe the winter months, of the calendar.
Yeah,
with
like the NRA
the sweater on and everything.
Girls of the NRA calendar or something.
Yeah, right. Famous actresses,
right?
Of the born of famous actors of the NRA.
Yeah, or I mean, if she's wearing something else and the gun is like a laser gun or something, she could be Barbarella or something. It's a typical sexy pose, but with a giant assault rifle.
She's getting
and a sweater.
It's a pretty nicely composed shot. It looks good, and I don't mean that as a gun. I'm not a gun person, I don't care about guns or any of that stuff.
Yeah,
and it is a big gun. It looks like one of the ones that you would definitely. This is the gun that we can't figure out a common sense law to get rid of, and
yeah,
and it's the one that like. Everyone says, oh, it's people who don't know about guns say, we got to get rid of assault rifles. And then like pedantic gun lovers go, that's not an assault rifle. You don't know anything about guns. That's the type of gun it is.
Yeah. It's the type of gun that shoots many, many, many rounds in a very short period of time and does a lot of damage. So if you just want to eviscerate a deer out in the woods, you're not even going to eat it. You're just going to perforate it.
She has terrible aim, right? Or she's just trying to scare him. I don't know.
I think that she, at this point, just wanted to bring them to the ground and stop them in their tracks so she could make her speech and, monologue and let him know exactly why she's about to kill them both.
But she failed with this gun. She fails with the missile launcher. She failed with that. This does not reflect it. There's almost a stereotype that women are not able to shoot straight or something,
She should stick to her hair business.
She's like a stormtrooper. Yeah.
She learned everything she knew from stormtroopers. Yeah.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah. I have a question about celibacy. Anyway. She mentions twice that she remains celibate for him, and she stood at the back of a church, with a full wedding party ready to happen in celibacy. Does this mean that she has never had sex, or does this mean that she did, but then she decided not to until she was with Jake?
Well, that's the implication, right? Is when you say I'm celibate. Virgins don't go, "Oh, I'm celibate," until I'm not.
Okay.
The suggestion is that you have to stop, and then that now you're celibate.
Okay. So at any point in your sexual career, you could declare celibacy, and then you've stopped.
Yeah, that's right. Unless I think that the exception here would be the clergy who are celibate, who are celibate by vow. even if they hadn't had sex before.
Okay. That makes sense to me. I just wanted to talk about sex. Thank you. Thank you, Dan.
Sorry, go on. What is there anything of importance that happens in here in this overly long scene that I didn't listen to without the sound?
The only things I want to say are that I do like the scene, but Jake's fall to his knees is telegraphed a mile away. I feel like he's approaching her very slowly, and his face looks like he's about to fall to his knees and clasp his hands like a minute before he does.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's
not that funny when it happens. It's
meant to be a surprise, but it's not really.
I agree. Oh, and I have a theoretical question.
Yes.
About like that she's going on about, okay, so her story is that she's mad at him because they were due to be married and he left her at the altar. And I'm wondering when this was supposed to have happened, because he goes into this long spiel about, I got a flat tire, a friend was in from out of town, there's a flood, a hurricane, all this stuff, obviously making stuff up. But if he was in prison when they were supposed to be married, he could have just said that. Oh, hey, baby, I was in prison. I couldn't make it.
Yeah, we know that he was in prison for a matter of years, right?
Yeah. So was this like before that?
We think maybe he was in prison for at least 2 years because he might have gotten out early with good behavior or something.
Yeah, something like that.
A 4-year charge.
We should know this, shouldn't we? I have the number 3 in my head for some reason too. Was he in there for 3 years?
Yeah, it was something like that. 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
And so, it must have been before he went to prison.
Yeah. So he needs to be making up excuses because he didn't have a solid excuse like being in prison.
Right.
Which is shameful. So why didn't he marry her? Why wouldn't you marry Carrie Fisher?
What could possibly have been the problem here?
Is it just the idea that he's a giant flake? He was out robbing a store to pay the band?
Yeah, I mean they're about to do, consider this, they're about to do this big important show, and he's like drunk on what is it, the night train or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, what are you doing, man? you've got an important show, and it's supposedly it's a message from God, mission from God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're getting he's got like a headache because he's hungover.
Yeah. It's not even like he was partying. He just started drinking at a gas station to kill the time.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
And they have murdered several people on accident.
Yeah.
Don't forget
manslaughter, but sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
My son asks me sometimes, what's the difference between manslaughter and murder and first-degree murder and second-degree murder? I'm like, I don't know. You got a phone. Look it up.
That's a very that's a very tricky question, actually, because it really is, I like that there's a thing called attempted murder.
Yes.
And it's because that's like and they let these people out, even though they let the people out of jail, even though the one person they wanted dead is still alive.
Yeah. There was something you wanted to do that you were thwarted in, but now you're free to go try it again.
Right, and then they said, look, before we let you out, before we parole you, just promise us you won't do this again.
Pinky
and
swear.
By this, I mean try to kill your ex-landlord and secret lover of your wife, Kenneth Thompson. Please do not try to kill Mr. Kenneth Thompson.
At 442 Shady Brook Lane, Calumet City, Illinois.
Yeah.
And as a side pinky swear, don't kill anybody else either. Stay on the up and up. Stay on the straight and narrow.
Right. Because because of double jeopardy laws, we can't charge you with the same crime twice. So you're going to have to promise us you don't try it, because if you do, our hands are tied.
Yeah.
I think that's how double jeopardy works.
Yeah. I'm just the equipment clerk here at the jail, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I think you would be free to kill that guy. Nothing would happen if you killed that guy again.
Kenneth Thompson now, if you kill Kenneth Thompson, that's a different story.
You can try to kill him all you want. You're fine.
Just don't try to kill him.
Yeah, here's a book on Rube Goldberg devices that'll probably cover your tracks to make it look like, he got killed without you having anything to do with it. That could be the way to go. If you were going to do that, which you shouldn't.
Yeah. I was pulled over the other day for attempted speeding. I had, it was, I was flooring it, but I have a 4-cylinder pickup truck, and it was like a 15% grade.
Okay.
And I just couldn't. I was unsuccessful, but the cop knew that I was trying to speed, and so I got a ticket for attempted speeding.
You had the need for speed.
I have to appear in court for that.
There you go. Well,
yep.
Shame on you.
Right.
That's of course, the system I've working.
Gotten in trouble for attempted battery before, which is just me getting my butt kicked by somebody else. And I tried to
took a swing that didn't land.
Fight back, but I couldn't land anything. It was attempted battery.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. This is all very Minority Report.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Like,
right.
You were trying to kill, you had a gun pointed at the guy and you pulled the trigger, aiming right at him.
Yeah.
And while you didn't kill him, it really seems like you were trying to kill him. Like that's what your intention was. It really
seemed like our algorithms suggest that you were trying to kill him.
Yeah, don't do that anymore. See where it landed you?
That's great. They follow me around, actually, saying he looks like he's going to get his ass kicked. Follow him around.
Yeah.
We can get him on attempted battery.
That's entrapment. You can't just watch and wait for me to get beaten up. You should do something to stop me from being beaten up. The system is failing. Oh, the other big thing in this movie, and we've been talking about this for a while, Jake takes off his sunglasses for the first time in the movie, and we see his eyes. And this should be the only time you see his eyes in the entire movie, either of them. Yes. You shouldn't see their eyes at all except for this moment. And in this cockamamie version of the movie we're watching, we saw Elwood's eyes earlier at his job at the factory, whatever, the plant.
I never want to see his eyes.
Yeah.
And also, I
can see his eyes in Trading Places. I got nothing against Dan Aykroyd's eyes.
No.
But Elwood's Blues eyes, I should not see.
And unfortunately, in the shot when he's kneeling down,
before he takes off the glasses, they're actually not dark enough, so you can see his eyes through the lenses, which is disappointing.
Just like Darth Vader in Star Wars.
He looks less cool and more like an old person with blue blockers on or something. It just doesn't. It's not good.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When do you see what is this about Darth Vader? What?
There are shots in the original Star Wars where you can see David Prowse's eyes through the Darth Vader helmet.
I love dropping the David Prowse reference.
David Prowse,
yeah,
the body.
The guy from the guy from Clockwork Orange, right?
Yeah, Julian. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That guy,
David Prowse. Oh, that David Prowse. You're kidding me. When you watch Star Wars, you can see his eyes?
In some, not all the time, but I think it's particularly like in the close-ups of him when he's in the TIE fighter at the end. There are definitely some shots where you can see some.
That's disappointing to me.
It is. Don't look for, I'm sorry I said anything. Don't look for it. Don't Google it.
Yeah, that's one of those wish I didn't know things. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a very, in the age of or past the age of DVDs, I guess, but in the age of audio commentaries and behind the scenes stuff and deleted scenes and everything, you learn so much about your favorite movies. It should actually ruin them. And I think it actually does in some ways, but I'm still really drawn to all that stuff. I kind of like seeing that stuff, but then, it sort of takes the movie apart for you.
Yeah. There's a suspension of disbelief or a demystification that occurs that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of that's happened to me before, but I don't.
I know. I'm sure there are thousands of things that
there are movies. We were talking the other day with. I don't know if this is a similar thing, but a movie can be ruined by too much knowledge. Like I was watching some TV show, and it's in Chicago, and it was terrible actually. But there was a scene like they're supposed to live on the South Side, and then they're just walking in the park, and I'm like, that's up by. They're up by Water Tower Place right now. What are they doing up there? It would have taken an hour on the train to get up there. What are you doing? This must happen to New York people all the time.
Oh, right? Definitely, yeah. They just laugh at the TVs constantly.
They were just in Coney Island, and now they're at Carnegie Deli. Like, what is this?
It's like when I watched the Stepford Wives.
Some sort of a magical New York.
Oh, they're teleporting around town on their little stroll. That's beautiful.
There's a scene where Itchy opens Scratchy's chest and plays his ribs like a xylophone. And at one point, he hits two different ribs, and it clearly produces the same tone. Are we supposed to believe this is some kind of a magic xylophone? That happens to me with baseball movies in a big way.
Oh, really?
Even though I want to suspend disbelief, there is I don't mean this to sound, because it's nothing to brag about. It's actually quite sad. I know way too much about baseball to be fooled by a lot of these things. I can't possibly. I see it. Oh, there's two things. One is the baseball where you see it, and I like Field of Dreams. I was talking to a friend about this the other day, and he was talking about this movie. It's a movie that I cannot stand. This movie.
Oh, you like
I
baseball?
hate it in several ways. I suppose I like the part at the end where he's like, "Hey, Dad, do you want to have a catch?" and all that stuff. That's nice and all, but
sure,
it's like sappy and all about how if you believe hard enough, things. I just fucking hate it. But anyway, they made a sappy version of it. But then, though, Shoeless Joe Jackson, who I know everything about already, comes out of the corn, and it's Ray Liotta, right? Which is I'm willing to believe that, I suppose. But he comes out of the corn, and then he's like a regular guy. He's not a Southerner. Like he's not.
Oh, right.
Like Shoeless Joe Jackson was illiterate, like straight up illiterate, and he's from South Carolina. There's no he would not talk like that. And then Kevin Costner's like, oh, let's I'll throw you some balls to hit, And Shoeless Joe is a right-handed hitter, and I'm 13 years old. I'm at the theater, and I'm looking left and right at the people around me going, "You believe this shit? You believe this shit?" Shoeless Joe,
he didn't get out of the cock-a-doodle car.
It's outrageous, this idea. Shoeless Joe's going to bat right-handed. And also, all you have to do is do what they did with Pride of the Yankees with Gary Cooper and just write the name on the jersey backwards and then shoot the film in reverse. That's all you have to do.
That's fun. They did that.
It's
That's
an easy fix.
Hey, there's a baseball movie that I love, speaking of Shoeless Joe, that I don't think we've ever discussed on the show. It's never come up with you and Mike talking about baseball movies. 8 Men Out.
I love that movie.
Okay, good. And is that a better Shoeless Joe for you?
It is. That is a movie about the actual. That's a better Shoeless Joe. It's not perfect. D.V. Sweeney is a little not believable for me, and he doesn't look anything like Shoeless Joe Jackson. But the movie is really good. It's John Sayles. He's a good filmmaker.
That's right.
And it's true to the book and true to the story of the Black Sox scandal mostly. And so it's really good. And I love David Strathern.
Yeah, me too.
Who plays Eddie Seacott, although that's way off because Eddie Seacott was really a shady character. Not at all the earnest kind of guy that,
Yeah.
And Shoeless Joe, I believe, from what I've read about it, was more guilty than that movie makes him out to be.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I can see that that legend spinning that way, that like, oh, come on, leave him alone. He's a illiterate, nice fella.
Yeah.
How could he be? He's being railroaded or something.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's. But they did very well with that movie. And the other problem with the baseball movies sometimes is the quality of the baseball playing is nowhere near good enough. It doesn't really make any sense. So the only thing that movie suffers from is that the ball players don't look right.
Right.
They do their level best.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Buck Weaver, John Cusack. Does his best he does a pretty good job, but I'll say this. Kevin Costner is a good-looking baseball player. Like Kevin in Bull Durham and in Field of Dreams, he looks like he's played baseball at a high level, like where it looks normal.
Nice. Okay.
Yep. That's all.
I feel a little bit bad having this conversation without Mike here because I know he would be able to weigh in.
He would have. I've already carried on at length, and also,
yeah, you both have, yeah,
and he has too many opinions, frankly, about this.
He does.
We only need.
I'm just wondering how the most important baseball movie stacks up to these, which is the Bad News Bears.
Oh, right, that's the most important. That one is just who cares, Yeah,
I would imagine since the skill of the players is already in question in the context of the film, you wouldn't be examining it with the same sort of micro intensity that you would other films. Exactly.
It's just fun. I suppose the one sticking point might be Tatum O'Neal. The idea that Tatum O'Neal is supposed to be a really good looking baseball player in the sense of the quality of the play, not good looking in the sense of but
yeah, come on,
she does well in that movie though.
Okay. And then what about Kelly Leak? Jackie Earle Haley?
Yeah,
he's supposed to be really good too.
Kelly Leak's pretty good. I mean,
okay.
At that age, I was better. So was Mike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind saying.
You would have been on the Yankees.
Yeah.
Hey Yankees, take your apology and your trophy and shove them straight up your ass. God, that's a good movie.
That's a great movie. I love it. Okay, sorry. I feel like I've yammered on enough about this, but there's nothing. No, we're both yammering.
I don't know. I feel like I've covered everything I want to say about these minutes.
I do like when he takes the glasses off and does the little. It's very John Belushi. The eyebrows movement, and the sort of smart assy earnest look.
He's got that in his toolbox of comedic tricks. He does.
It is. I can see that's one of his strengths.
You know what's really funny? I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know why I think about this now, but I remember when he died. It was hysterical. No, when he died, NBC showed Animal House right after that on TV, and there was a little preamble about dedicating it to him because he had just died and stuff. And he's a comedic genius, whatever and stuff. And there's a slow pan in of him with his college t-shirt, and it's and this was his greatest role. I was like, really?
Yeah.
They're treating this goofball,
like it was the president
spewing, exactly. Yeah. It was like Laurence Olivier or something, or, just this ridiculous college frat goon role. And they're treating it, like it's Helen Hayes or something.
Well, go and get tough.
And then I also, and I don't even know if that's his, is that his greatest role? Is that, I guess for a lot of people that is the John Belushi role, but
I gotta say, this is part of what I don't get. I mean, I think he maybe benefits a little from the halo effect here.
Yeah, definitely.
Nobody talks about Dan Aykroyd now. I mean, most people don't talk about Dan Aykroyd like he's a brilliant comic actor. Mm-hmm. But say he had died instead, wouldn't we be talking about the amazing future? Who knows what future Dan Aykroyd could have had? He could have, nobody would have been like, oh, he's going to be in the Britney Spears film later,
yeah. If he had died in post Ghostbusters, he would definitely be considered one of the finest comedic actors this world has ever seen.
No question. And people would talk about
from Trading Places, from this.
Yeah. And on the
SNL, yeah.
And on the other side of the coin there, but if John Belushi had lived, who knows what number of utter pieces of crap movie he would have been in,
I don't see him pulling a Bill Murray kind of late career, U-turn, not U-turn, but kind of a left turn into more legit, a different kind of comedy and a different kind of drama, and being really successful at that.
Bill, it's unlikely. It's possible, but it's unlikely.
Right.
Bill Murray is pretty
and Dan
impressive.
Aykroyd did a little of that too. Dan Aykroyd sort of started to dabble in sort of more traditional roles. He's
got many good. I'm a big fan. I don't want to sound like I'm knocking him.
Me too.
I love Dan Aykroyd.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that he has to die to be good. I think he's excellent now. I mean, Trading Places is one of the best. We should do that movie. It's so good.
But people wouldn't. I'm just referring to how people would talk about him, not so much. But back to the point of it, which is that when I sit here and I think, what is John Belushi's best role? After listening to people talk about what a genius he is for the last 20 years or whatever it is, I think about what his best role is, and I'm like, I don't know. None of them seem that good to me. What's the great movie? What's the great performance that he did? I don't get it.
Yeah, where's the craftsmanship that you can point to beyond him either being loud or large or doing a backflip or something? I mean,
it's got to be Bluto.
I think that's legitimate. I think that's it probably is. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Pencils up his nose, Mr. Bluetooth.
It's genuinely funny. I like it.
It is genuinely funny. He's really good in that, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people can say oh, just because he's playing a buffoon doesn't mean that he's a buffoon and that he doesn't deserve credit for realizing that role so well or something.
Right. It's not that's like praising Keanu Reeves for his work in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It's
right.
Yeah, it's good, but it's also him being kind of just Keanu, but amping it up by about 33%,
Yeah. Yeah. I think right this second, we're both saying the opposite thing, but I think I also still agree with you.
Oh.
I don't know. I was sort of saying maybe he can get credit. Belushi can get credit for playing a goofball, brainless buffoon without being a brainless buffoon. Like he has to find that in himself and play it and perform. It's like still a performance.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Something.
We were saying,
but no. I think it's probably like, just being frank about it, that probably was not a hard role for him to play.
It's not.
He could probably access that pretty easily.
Yeah.
I
don't think if you ask Daniel Day-Lewis to play that role that he has to spend 4 years learning how to become a buffoon. You know what I mean?
He's not in character the entire time when people get to this. Would you like to meet the buffoon?
Every morning he obsessively stuffed a couple of hard-boiled eggs in his mouth and spat them out in his kitchen to prepare for the role.
He would fall off a ladder every morning just to kind of get into that headspace.
He smashed a new guitar every day.
I hear that stuff about Daniel Day-Lewis on like Lincoln or something, and like how he was like literally in character the entire time, and everybody on the set treated it that way, like he was the president, he was Lincoln.
Yeah,
and I just want to throw stuff. I'm like, are you that bad of an actor that you can't just turn it on and like just be a character? Like what's everybody else doing?
Just
do it.
That's
just
funny. Yeah, it's sometimes it sounds like a little much. Like apparently in My Left Foot, people had to carry him over the like.
Oh my gosh.
He's in a chair. And he insists on staying there, and so people had to carry him over the the thick cables for the lights and stuff.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
Oh my god, that reminds me of like Dustin Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman said that he was talking to Laurence Olivier, I guess, when they were making Marathon Man.
I heard this story,
and he was like, "Yeah, like why?"
I love this story.
He says he was saying like, why do you what I forget exactly what the question was, but it was something to the effect of like, why do you do this? What is it that makes us actors?
I think it's because Dustin Hoffman was running around the block and slapping himself in the face and getting all excited for this take.
That's a different story. That's two different stories. But yeah, don't tell that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
No, you tell yours.
Oh, the one I'm thinking of is Dustin Hoffman's doing all this stuff, and Laurence Olivier's like just sitting there smoking a cigarette, waiting.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm getting ready to do this. I have to get myself into this character so I can be in the headspace or whatever." And he said, "Have you tried acting?"
That's awesome.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Sorry if you.
I want everyone to say that to Daniel Day-Lewis. No, but what I was saying, I think they were having like a conversation, like off the set or something, and Dustin Hoffman was just like, "What makes us actors? Why do we want to be actors? What is this all about? What are we doing here?" And he said that Laurence Olivier just leaned up like nose to nose to him, and he said, "Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me." He's like, "Oh my god, I guess that's it. We just want people to be paying attention to us. Like we want to be on a stage, and everyone's focused on us." And then I hear Daniel Day-Lewis being carted around because his foot hurts, like he's playing a guy with like a messed up foot or something. Never has to carry him. Like, wow, I guess everyone's looking at him. Congratulations, Daniel Day-Lewis, you win. Everyone thinks you're President Lincoln. You
don't overthink it. Yeah,
boy, that makes me not want to see any of his movies.
He is great, though. I have to say, he's really tremendous. But
he is. What are you gonna do?
I didn't see the Lincoln movie. That'd be funny if he went to plays in character in like concealed carry states, just to, I don't know. There's a joke in there somewhere about like how Daniel Day-Lewis prepares, like he has to prepare. Yeah. He has to play like a famous heart surgeon. So he goes to medical school and becomes a famous. He has to learn how to do. He becomes the world's best heart surgeon so he can play the role. Or he has to know. So he learns. He becomes the best particle physicist in the world to play a role or something. Or he gets
but then they
ALS
can't finish
on
the movie
purpose
because he's never.
So he could play Stephen Hawking or something. I don't know.
And then they can't finish the movie because he's constantly being called into surgery
ALS,
and stuff. And yeah.
Oh God.
We're gonna be rich. There's a movie in there somewhere.
I know there's a movie in there.
Do we have any kind of trivia prepared?
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry I just said it like that because now we're committed to doing trivia. Mike said it earlier in his thing, but that didn't count. We weren't prepared at all. Not that we're prepared now.
This automaton that we hired in the booth hits the music.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Jimmy.
Yeah, you got to.
Why don't you find us some
Jimmy,
trivia?
You can't just. No more donuts for you.
Yeah, read the room.
Oh,
we're ready for trivia.
Great. That's really funny. He's pressing his ass cheeks against the glass now.
Oh,
Yeah. That's funny.
Some of us eat off that glass, Jimmy. Wipe that off.
I tend to think Mike would say there is no Jimmy right now if he were here. I miss Mike.
I miss Mike too.
Did you want some trivia?
Yeah, I'm sort of looking up stuff, but you could look it up too. Unless you have something. No, God.
I've got the entertainment questions in my back pocket if you need them. That's what I'm going to leave that up to you.
Sure, let's do that. I was going to try to find some Blues Brothers trivia, but that always takes too long.
You have amazed me in the past with this. I got to say, as far as
I'm either on fire or I miss completely.
Yeah, but what you don't understand is that for you, you're getting like half of these right, and that's far better than the average person's. That's like my percentage for all of Genus 1. For entertainment, I'm down in the 10 or 20% range.
Wow. That's why you got me around.
This question I just pulled from the thing, I promise you, is a coincidence. It's a par 5. Okay. I've got 5 cards here that I've drawn out of the box. And we're going to stick with the entertainment questions. Who played Rowdy Yates in Rawhide?
Wait, we know that from the movie, right?
Yes, we do.
That was Clint Eastwood.
Rawhide it ain't.
Rawhide it ain't. Clint Eastwood it is.
Clint Eastwood it is. That's
I know nothing about Rawhide except for that. Okay, good.
What British comedy team numbered Harry Seacombe, Peter Sellers, Michael Bentine, and Spike Milligan?
I will recognize it when you say it, but I don't know the answer.
I promise you, also a coincidence. The Goons.
Okay.
Mike,
how did I miss that?
Tom also often referred to as a tall goon. Yeah. It's The Goons. I never heard of that one. You?
I'm ashamed now that I didn't know that.
Okay.
You know what? That actually doesn't ring a bell. I thought I was going to recognize it, but I don't recognize it at all.
Okay. And speaking of also a coincidence, speaking of the Art Carney situation, what was Ed Norton's wife's name?
Trixie.
That's right. It's Trixie.
I don't know that I've ever in my life seen a full episode of The Honeymooners, but there have been Warner Brothers cartoons based on it.
Yeah.
Like actually did like The Honeymooners as mice or something.
Right.
So I think I know it from that.
What cigar chewing comedian observed, "You're only as old as the women you feel"? God.
Oh God.
This is a pre-Me Too question by about 30 years.
A little bit. Yeah. I want to say cigar chewing.
Yeah, why would you?
Is that going to be okay? I'm thinking about like the early 80s. Who was like riding high in their old age? I'm going to say George Burns.
It's Groucho Marx.
God damn it! I was going to say Groucho Marx.
Groucho Marx.
Oh well.
Back in my day,
in my day, you could put your hands anywhere on a woman.
We've already touched on. He didn't smoke them. He just chewed them.
You would see a beautiful woman.
You chewed them like tobacco.
And then just place your hands on her bottom.
Yeah. You're only as old as the women you feel, you see.
Why don't you sit on my lap and we'll see what pops up.
Who directed The Wild Bunch?
Sam Peckinpah.
Sam Peckinpah. Was that also a coincidence? Did he do The Marathon Man?
He did not do... I think The Marathon Man was... John Schlesinger?
I'm thinking of Straw Dogs, right? Because of Dustin Hoffman and...
You are thinking of... Wait, who did you just say? What director did you just say?
Sam Peckinpah.
Sam Peckinpah.
That's correct.
I think was Straw Dogs.
He did do Straw Dogs, and that was with Dustin Hoffman, I believe.
That's right. And that was Dustin Hoffman trivia.
Oh,
well done.
That was good.
I did a great job.
Good job. How are we doing? What's going on?
I'm just sad that... I don't know. Maybe we're wrapping this up. I don't know. What do you think?
Anything else
Mike
about
here to let us know that he's falling asleep? Or
I hung out with Tom. More on that later in a later episode. But we
recorded a little bit of stuff like live, so you know that we actually saw each other in person.
Right.
But we'll get to that next week.
Yeah, when we did talk, we were at to Fog City, which is a little sort of diner spot right by the water there near the Embarcadero in San Francisco. And most of the time, I talked with Tom's lovely wife, Jody.
Yeah, I was sitting right next to Dan, but he was mostly talking to my wife.
Tom didn't talk. He just stood there and he just sat there and looked weird. And gave me weird looks.
And ate my food.
Just like his son. And his son sat there and just looked at me weird.
That's what we do. I've taught him well.
We had Brussels sprouts
when you're at dinner, son,
and fish.
Just look weird. Those Brussels sprouts are really good. You said that as we were parting. I was a little distracted because we were trying to get to a train, which we eventually missed. But you said like, oh yeah, I had a great time. Tom didn't talk enough, but I had a really good time. And I was like, you know what? I never talk enough. I don't really, especially when Jody's around, because Jody's really good at talking to people. And especially when Sam's around, because he's really good at distracting me and demanding my attention. Right. So I do feel a little bit bad that I didn't more fully engage with my friend Dan when we were in person.
Well,
but there'll be another time.
Yeah,
and I don't feel like we didn't engage, but I do. I tend to hold back and just let the conversation happen and chime in with, malarkey. But
I talk to you all the time, though, and I never talk to Jody.
Yeah. I'm a little sick of
She's more interesting in so many ways and more engaging.
She's more appealing, more interesting, more engaging. She's just a better person.
Yeah,
I get it.
Exactly. I couldn't have put it better myself.
I'm with you 100%. Right. And she thinks you're a nice guy.
I wonder if we should, maybe we'll get together in Chicago, hopefully before too long.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah.
That's easier on me because I live here already.
Well, it's about time.
And so does Mike,
somebody
supposedly.
Came out to visit me, for a change.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Which I did. I get full points, even if I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Everybody's ready to go to bed or go to work, whenever you're listening to this.
Hey, Mike, what do you think?
Maybe everybody have a donut.
All right.
But listen, the three of us, Dan and I in person, Mike in spirit, thank you for joining us on this episode of the Blues Brothers Minute. We especially, of course, want to thank our beautiful Patreons. People like Mark Mavora, Captain America, Snoke Porterhouse, Pork Snorterhouse, Matt Carson, Scott Bishop, Private Pile, May Flores, and Bill Turner.
Not that Mother Scratcher.
Thank you, one and all. That Mother Scratcher, Bill Turner, I'm telling you. That's the one. These are people who are supporting the show in a monetary way with their hearts and with their wallets. And if you want to do the same thing, you could go to patreon.com/ditchdiggers, where you will find that you can, support the show at various levels. You can get early access to the shows. You can get bonus shows if we ever get around to doing those. You can get postcards from each of us. I'm not saying like a you can get nothing and like it. There's anything, any way you want to support the show. We appreciate it. And it makes it a little easier on us and our busy lives. I mean, look at Mike. He had to make a decision between life and podcasting.
Right.
And if we had a lot of cash coming in, he could just pay somebody to be a father to his kids and be here on the show doing that. So we should make that a level, actually. Babysit Sam or babysit Mike's kids.
Choose wisely.
Choose wisely.
That's the cup of a carpenter. Yeah.
On the Indiana Jones Listeners Crusade on Facebook, somebody said, "Hey, come up with Indiana Jones band names," and I was having a ball. And one of the ones that I came up with was the Cup of the Carpenters.
That's a good one. What were some of the other ones? Just give me two more.
I'm gonna I'll give you two more of mine. Some of these are deep cuts, but Sly and the Family Label.
Oh my God!
Which is really good if you know your Raiders. Belloc goes on about how he's getting merry and drunk, and he says, "This is my family label. I grew up with this."
Okay, so you threw the Sly in there as a way of just making it sound like another band name. I got you.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry.
And then we had
another one.
I know it's a lot of deep cuts, and you're not going to get all of them. But
give me one more that's maybe a medium,
here's a good one.
Medium deep cut.
Melton John.
Melton John.
Melton John.
Is that
the Nazis all melt at the end?
When John...
Elton John becomes Melton John. It's a
I
little
love
twist
that
on the
you also have to
existing
it's
name.
not just band names, but it's like they have to copy current artists. You know, like,
right.
Well,
see, a lot of people were just tossing out like, original sounding names, but my brain goes to the, the pun, the twist on Jody came up with the Karen Allen Parsons Project.
Oh, that's great.
That's fantastic. Golly.
I love Karen.
I married
Allen.
the right girl. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. What are you going to do?
You got lucky, Tom.
I did. I had nothing to do with it. It just sort of happened.
It's clear
she sort of fell in my lap and we talked about the first thing that came up. What? All right.
Okay.
Such a stupid joke.
I'm sorry.
That comes up very often.
There was one other thing from listener Kevin, who's also a golf specialist.
All right. He hasn't had a lot to do this season.
This one's coming out kind of, I think he's maybe not caught up. Does Mrs. Tarantino have a picture of Don Corleone on her wall with a burning candle on it?
We discussed that.
We did, didn't we?
And we decided, you thought it was Don Corleone.
Yeah, but it's...
I think.
Yeah, I did, but it wasn't, right? It was like...
We decided it was just some dude, probably her husband or dad or something.
Or maybe I thought it was... it was her husband who she's mourning. That's why she's in all black and stuff.
Yeah. It wasn't like a candle there too or something. All signs pointed to a deceased relative, a deceased loved one.
Exactly.
Not Marlon Brando in The Godfather.
Yeah, so there's your quasi answer, Kevin.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, now we're ending the show because I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's enough.
Hey, listen to me go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening. Please come back next time.
Yeah.
Please visit us online.
Go on Smartass and do it. Yeah.
Go on Smartass and go to Twitter, Blues Bros Minute. Facebook, Blues Brothers Minute Listeners Hole.
Yeah.
Go to iTunes, rate us, review us, and subscribe. Just do everything to make us a very successful, thriving, popular show.
Yeah.
Because you know we deserve to be.
Of course.
Go on, smartass, and do it.
And
come back next time. Do that too. Bye-bye.
Say goodbye, Mike.
Talk to you later. Goodbye.
Hey, you scratched my ankle.